Pineapple upside down cupcakes. So according to my research being Google, nostalgic recipes are going to be heavily trending in 2023. So I think pineapple upside down cake is pretty nostalgic. A lot of people love it. It's a very old time classic dessert. So we're gonna make cupcakes because I love just twisting the classics. Now I love this recipe for a number of reasons. Number one is it takes barely any time. Number two, it's delicious. It's easy, it's great, it's not time consuming. What else could you possibly want? So what we're doing first is just getting our dry mixture together, which is flour, baking soda, baking powder, and salt, making sure it's really well mixed and just setting this aside so we have it ready for later. Now in my bowl here, I've got some softened unsalted butter and granulated sugar. Need to make sure this butter is all the way softened so that it creams nicely. And when it comes to making cakes, creaming your butter and sugar is essential because you let the sugar dissolve a little bit. It really improves the texture. So you want to cream this for a couple minutes until it is nice, light, and fluffy. All right, so scraping the bowl down, super important, you should always do it. Now to this, we're gonna be adding 2 diamonds. I'm kidding. Eggs are expensive right now, they're basically diamonds, let's face it. Room temperature, 2 large eggs, one at a time. Gonna mix them each in really nicely. Okay, scraping down again. And we've got vanilla extract, about 1.5 teaspoons. It's probably the one thing I don't measure, I just kind of eyeball it. I'm like, yeah, we could do a little more today. And some sour cream. Now, if you don't have sour cream, you can use buttermilk, you can use yogurt. Basically, the point is that this is an acidic ingredient, which is going to react with the baking soda while this bakes, and it's going to give a really nice texture. So yeah, if you don't have sour cream, other acidic ingredients like buttermilk, yogurt, what else is acidic? You get the point. You can substitute this pretty easily. Just gonna mix these in. And then last but certainly not least is our dry mixture from before. And just gently mix this on a low speed until it barely comes together so we don't overmix the flour and risk having tough cupcakes. And then once it barely comes together, I'm actually just gonna finish it off with my spatula here. That way we can scrape the bowl, make sure everything's incorporated, but we're not worried about overmixing this, and they'll come out nice, light, and fluffy. Couple things I have ready here. We're going to be using maraschino cherries. So I've got them stemmed. Can you guys tie a cherry stem in your mouth? I don't think I've ever been able to do it. Okay, we're gonna say no, I cannot. Cherries are here. I've got, I'm just using canned pineapple. I got the slices and I cut them up on a plate here. I reserved the juice, well I guess in this case the heavy syrup, from the can. It's in a dish over here because after the cupcakes are baked, we're gonna brush them with this so they get like really nice and flavorful. So that's gonna be saved for later. But for now, we're gonna need our cherries, our cut up pineapple, and our batter. And I've got my cupcake pan here with my paper liners. Now, every time I make cupcakes, and I make a lot of cupcakes, I used to work in a bakery and make hundreds of them a day. These are the foolproof way of making sure your cupcakes not only come out the same way, but they look good, they bake at the same time. Just get yourself one of these. This is a 2 1/4 inch cookie scoop, and I found that it makes the perfect size cupcakes for whatever I'm making pretty much. So that's what we're gonna be using, but since these are pineapple upside down, everything is going to be on the bottom. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a cherry in the center of the bottom of each liner here. Okay, so cherries down, and now I'm going to take probably about, I'd say a tablespoon's worth of these pineapple chunks, and I'm gonna place them around the cherry in the bottom there. Not too much because we still have to fill these up with batter and you don't want them to be all pineapple. So Yeah, probably about a tablespoon's worth, just putting it around the cherries here. All right, beautiful. Have a little bit left over. And now is the time for our trusty scoop here. I'm gonna do a leveled scoop, not heaping, a leveled one, and this is gonna go right on top of the pineapple and cherry. And I'm just gonna tap the pan on my board here a few times, not only to get out air bubbles, but to let the batter kind of settle in and spread evenly. Now I've got my oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and the full recipe with measurements, US and metrics, are on my website. The link for this one is in the description, so go check that out. But let's bake these at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 to 18 minutes until the tops spring back when lightly touched, or a toothpick will come out almost 100%, let's say 90% clean. If there's a crumb or two, it's great. So this is why you should read through recipes twice before making them, because pineapple upside down cakes obviously have butter and brown sugar in the bottoms of them, and I don't know why I didn't do that. But rest assured, the written recipe has it in there. So before you call me out and say, how could you, you didn't do that, I know I messed up. It's okay, we learn from it. But these still came out beautifully. The last thing you do is simply brush the tops with the pineapple juice or syrup, whatever came in the can. And then you can unwrap them and they look great like this. And they taste amazing. Who needs brown sugar and butter anyway? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.